All right, Monday evening. Welcome to the show. It is quiet for now compared to what it was earlier tonight. And as of right now, we're not seeing anything in the way of major severe weather chances, but it is possible that we could see some more rumbles of thunder into the overnight period of time. So, something to think about if you are going to be traveling out there. Throughout the rest of the evening tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we could be looking again at the potential for some more problems where it comes to rainfall in the course of the next couple of days. It looks like I've deleted my Twitch information. I'm very sorry about that, but for right now, let's go ahead and get started. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. It is Monday evening. Sorry, the production department placed the light to illuminate me here at kind of the wrong angle in the wrong place. So you get this great big annoying light bar here. So turning that off for just a little bit, you can see the moonlight, moonrise with again some beautiful clouds getting in the way every once in a while from the Chattanooga Zoo Spirits in the Wild camera. Beautiful evening out there, getting rid of the cloud cover for now, but more potential of rain could be an issue again throughout the rest of the evening and toward the rest of the week. Add to that, outdoor activities might see the potential of some more showers and thunderstorms out there, but we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. So looking pretty good out there for right now. Less in the way of thunderstorms potentially for right now. This is Weather Overtime. Again, thanks a lot to everybody for joining us for tonight. We're coming to you from Chattanooga, Tennessee, at the southeast corner of Tennessee, just above the Tennessee line. We're live with Weather Overtime on Twitch and YouTube, so thanks to everyone for joining us for tonight. And if you have any questions on anything, please let us know what you're thinking. Check in and let us know where you're coming in from. If you're watching this from someplace around the planet, we'd love to know a little bit more about where you are from and what you're seeing out there for tonight weather-wise. So go ahead and give us a check-in on that, and we'll let you know more about what's going on again here for the next couple of days. Temperatures quite pleasant, actually. We're doing quite nice on the numbers through the rest of the evening. It's not going to be all that cool, and doubtful we're really going to be able to see too much of anything in the way of, I think, chilly weather. I think we've pretty much left the chilly weather behind at this point in time, because overnight we'll be looking for temperatures very much on the mild side once again, with numbers back in the lower 60s at best, and beyond that we're just really not looking at too much of anything going on for right now. So doubtful we're going to be picking up anything that's really going to help us in the way of cooler weather across the area. It'd be nice, but unfortunately it just does not look like that's going to be happening at any point in time. So comfortable, again, kind of, sort of, not as bad as it could be, but for this time of the year, definitely something to take a look at. Again, if you're going to be planning on getting the kids out in the morning, we'll take a look at the school day forecast coming up here in just a little bit, so definitely want to stay tuned for that. Could be a lot warmer conditions heading our way toward the end of the week. We'll talk more about what that looks like in just a little while. We've got a couple of systems that are helping us right now, give us the potential of more rainfall. Yes, I know Rick Nyman in our sports department tonight was not happy about the fact that we have even more rainfall taking place. We've got a big swirl of energy here. That is our localized area of low pressure, still several thousand feet up in the atmosphere, and the air is swirling around here trying to fill up that gap. That's what the atmosphere does. It doesn't like peaks and valleys. It wants to set everything normally on a level keel. The atmosphere is always trying to equal itself out, but because of gravity spinning the air around, sunshine on one side, no sunshine on the other, keeping things hot and cold mixed around and spinning all of that, that's where you get weather from, and that is where you are seeing the potential of problems for tonight, where we've got, again, more of these showers and thunderstorms possible with the moisture coming in. It's actually pretty interesting to see how all this works. We've got the low pressure area right in above the Mississippi Valley, right in here. We've got high pressure spinning the opposite direction over portions of the Atlantic, and that's doing a very good job of keeping us very much on the not dry side of things. If you take a look at this, and this is kind of interesting to see, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, but I don't know if we have all the data to take a look at. There's a good portion of this moisture that is actually coming in, being driven, these two systems working together to move all this moisture up our direction here. Some of this moisture, you can actually trace it from down across the Pacific, across Central America, all the way up off the Atlantic, and back into and around portions of the southeast United States. So we're actually picking up some of this moisture from a couple of oceans away from where we are. So we do see again that potential of moisture continuing to come in. Another couple of storm systems driving in from the northwest. That'll be affecting us a little bit later on. Pardon me for wiping my nose as often as I have been, but unfortunately my allergies have been kicking up pretty well for tonight. So we do have, again, at least some slowdown in the rainfall immediately. Let's take a look at what we are seeing at just about 4 minutes until 10 o'clock Eastern time. Current sweep of radar is showing again the heaviest rainfall well to the east of Chattanooga, back across the Blue Ridge area into western North Carolina, extreme southeastern Tennessee. That is the worst of the worst for right now, and those are dying thunderstorms. You actually can see a few areas of lightning markers here between Etowah, Andrews, Robinsonville, and McKaysville, so picking up some activity there. Then we go down into northeast Alabama. Some thunderstorms trying to get going around DeKalb and Jackson counties in the News 12 viewing area. Another shower over Rome, Georgia, and all this is moving its way back to the north. Our thunderstorms from earlier tonight are making their way on out of the picture. Some of these have been pretty potent. We had reports of some damage to homes around Soddy Daisy, just north of Chattanooga, earlier tonight, and a good portion of this could easily refire later tonight. Now, most of this, again, has passed out of the News 12 or will be passing out of the News 12 viewing area in the next couple of hours, but would not say that it's impossible to see another chance of showers and thunderstorms at any point in time overnight tonight and into around the area coming up tomorrow as well. We do catch a little bit of a break out there, but again, for right now, it is not, again, seeing anything in the way of totally clear skies, especially where it comes to anything involving severe weather. That is where we may see the problem in the course of the next day or two. Now, for tonight, the good news is that the Storm Prediction Center has done a good job of removing us from the threat of anything involving severe weather. So that is very good news. I know I had the graphic here someplace. For tonight, again, we don't see anything in the way of severe weather out across the area. That has now been shunted off to the south and to the east, and will continue that direction throughout the rest of the evening. I know I had that graphic here someplace. Let me just give me 2 seconds here. You know, that's amazing to see this. If anybody from Baron Graphics is watching, if there's any way to color code the individual slides on here, that would come in very handy for me, especially when I'm doing something like this on the fly. That would really, really help out. So, there we go. Okay, found it. So for tonight, the threat of a marginal threat of severe weather is over parts of the southeast United States. It used to be much bigger. It is now confined to coastal Georgia, eastern Georgia, parts of the coastal Carolinas, and that's about it. So that's the best threat of severe weather tonight. Tomorrow, it may be a little bit different. We will wait and see what is going on with this as we go into the course of the next couple of days. But for right now, tonight, severe weather threat has come to an end. That does not mean that we will not see anything in the way of thunderstorms. So we will be watching that with a lot of interest to see what we wind up with. So definitely want to keep an eye on the situation. Have your severe weather plan ready to go, because even if it is a minimal possibility of severe weather, you want to be able to have that plan ready to go. Know where your severe weather shelter is, no matter where you are even if it's a minimal threat like this is something you want to pay attention to make certain that, again, you're up to date on the forecast and you know what's going on. That's one of the best things that you can possibly do out there. So for the rest of the next couple of days, more of the same, but then some changes taking place as we go into around the end of the week. So that is where we start to see the changes across the area once again. Tomorrow, below normal, we should be in the mid 70s. Again, that's pretty good for this time of the year, but that's still right below where we should be, which is about 79 degrees, give or take, going way above normal into the high 80s as we approach Thursday. We'll cut off the rain Wednesday into Thursday, stay with sunshine on Thursday, and then as we get into the Friday and the end of the week and into the weekend and next week, there will be more chances of showers and thunderstorms out there. We will downturn the temperatures a little bit going into the high 70s next Monday. But again, field day coming up for a lot of schools, a lot of school districts having the outdoor fun after the testing going on. And we're getting into outdoor ceremonies, graduation ceremonies, things like that, outdoor weddings coming up. You got to be paying attention to what's going on with the forecast. It really is imperative, especially at this time of the year. So again, temperatures rather warm. Definitely want to have the liquid refreshment out there, some nice ice water, something in the reusable container, perhaps. Thanks to my daughter for the Looney Tunes container there. She definitely knows my style on that, even if she does consider me to be as old as the dinosaurs. We do see, again, very much on the mild side for now, but that warmer weather, thanks to the extra sunshine, that's really going to heat us up. So be ready for temperatures. I'd say some areas of the area around here will be pushing 90 degrees. There's no question about that into the next few days. So please watch out for that. And again, please get an idea as to make certain you got your severe weather plan ready to go out there. All right, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who has yet to put out some verifiable numbers, coincidentally, is causing NOAA and the National Weather Service, by extension, to be stretched thin, and they're planning on damaging the National Weather Service even more. Yes, I use the word damaging because that's what they're doing to both the people who work there, to our forecast ability, and that is going to affect our ability to stay safe. One of the questions I'm going to ask in the near future is, do you approve of DOGE cuts even if the lack of weather information and the lack of personnel on the ground lead to longer flight times? If you are willing to pay the price in longer flight times, more delays because DOGE is cutting out government waste and fraud by cutting the National Weather Service, which makes no sense whatsoever. This is going to be a good question to ask in the next few days, I think. Now, because of DOGE recommended cuts to NOAA, by the way, Houston, Texas is without a meteorologist in charge, and hurricane season starts in another 19 days. So that is a very scary thing right there. Other National Weather Service offices are having to cover other National Weather Service offices' duties because of the lack of personnel. How this is government efficiency is completely and totally beyond me. The Senate, the Congress, and the President need to stop this. This is an error in judgment at the very least, completely and totally stupid, reckless behavior at best. This is not what should be happening, and this is, again, something that is harming us, the American people, directly. And even if you can sit there and say, oh, it doesn't affect me, the accuracy of the forecast, as I've said, will start to impact the airline industry. It'll slow things down, very much so, in the near future, because we are lacking forecast quality, because someone from South Africa who has enough billions to keep him occupied for several dozen lifetimes, not working down here in the trenches where all the rest of us are, and, oh, by the way, affecting my Social Security, thank you very much. Must be nice to inherit an emerald mine and say you came up working the dirt, hard, poor areas. This is something that is very important here, because the interference, the reckless behavior of DOGE, and again, efficiency in quotes on that, they're doing a very good job of wrecking our ability to make forecasts better and what they call waste is actually a very expedient lie, because it is helping to damage weather protection for the United States. So as of right now, a lot of experts out there, and you can read information from the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist to CNN to the American Meteorological Society to many other places, the American Geophysical Union, a lot of opinions about this out there. But unfortunately, 40%, the majority of the votes today, were of saying it is going to be less accurate, sadly. Why you would say it's going to be more accurate, I have no idea about that. Maybe that has something to do with the efficiency moniker, which again makes no sense to me whatsoever. So as of right now, I wish that somebody would explain to me how a bunch of South African-led criminal geeks going through our system is going to improve things for all of us, because this sure ain't it. And if you agree with that, you really need to contact your representatives that you voted into office, or even if you didn't vote into office, you need to contact them. Democracy is not a spectator sport, and you really need to get involved on this, just like I have been doing, just like I'm saying here. Saying all this before I get clapped in irons and set off to a South American prison someplace and nobody hears from me for the rest of my life. We're all in that same boat right now, so what do we have left to lose? We need to be able to talk about climate change. We need to be able to talk about the damage that DOGE is doing to NOAA for no other good reason than a certain project wants to make certain that we can't talk about climate change anymore, which is totally idiotic and asinine. This is something that is dangerous for all of us, and it needs to stop. This is not even from just a journalist, fair and balanced situation. This is taking a look at it from a scientific point of view, and many other meteorologists, many other climate experts, many other meteorological experts are looking at the ripping apart, the flamethrower dismantling of NOAA as a terrible idea, and it needs to quit. And the people who came up with these ideas need to be confronted and need to be shamed out of their office to be able to say, this is a bad idea. You don't ever need to run for public office ever again. You are not a servant of the people. If you support this idea, I totally, completely support that unapologetically. This is a terrible idea, and anybody in the Congress who stands up for this needs basically to resign as soon as possible in any branch of the government who supports this type of activity by this agency's quote-unquote agency. They really need to examine why they got into public service in the first place. And I'm guessing you didn't get into public service for serving the people. You got into it for the free health care for the rest of your life and the possibility of talk show hosts on different circuits out there. It's infuriating. It is absolutely dangerous. It is absolutely and totally wrong to see this type of thing not only going on, but having it endorsed by the highest offices in the land and the leaders of this country who are elected there to say, sure, go ahead, do what you want to. This is dangerous and stupid, and we need to stop it, and the elected leaders need to stand up and say, this will not happen here ever again. This needs to go away very quickly, and we need to get everyone back into the National Weather Service. And for the last time for tonight, at some point in time, someone in this Department of Government Efficiency needs to post some numbers that show where the waste is and what they have rooted out that is verifiable. They have not done that yet. You want to point me in the direction of them saying that they have? Sure, great, be glad to hear it. Be glad to post it, be glad to check the numbers out, but because they haven't done it yet. So something to think about on things like this. All right, off my soapbox for now, but again, this is absolutely asinine behavior. We do not need this happening, and we are going to suffer for it if they keep doing stuff like this. This is absolutely tragic and terrible behavior, and we are going to see, again, worse possibilities with less forecast information. It just stands to reason if you have any reason out there. But if you support a certain project, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of reason in your head to begin with. Unfortunately, that's the way it looks. So thanks a lot for, again, participating in our poll of the day. New one coming up at midnight. Thank you, Jackie Carver from Cleveland, Tennessee, for Friday's picture of the day. That was a beautiful sunset right there. We'll have to go to, I guess it did not make it through the system, so let's go to the 7-day forecast. This is the picture of the day sent in to us by Elizabeth Boss from Athens for a Wednesday morning, March the 7th sunrise. Beautiful view there. Thank you very much. That's our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. And if you've got pictures, we'd love to see them. Go ahead and send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com. You can also go to our website where you can also look at everybody else's pictures and send yours in there. You can also drop them to our social media pages. So please send them in as soon as possible. We would love to know more about what you have seen and, again, where you've been taking pictures of out there. Just over 3/4 of an inch of rain today. With all the rain that we've picked up in the last several days, including a couple of weekends worth of rain, we are now 4.83 inches above normal for the month of May, and we still have over half the month to go. We also are ahead for the year now. We haven't seen this for quite some time. 2024 ended up being quite dry, and 2023 was dry but not quite as much. 3.5 inches above normal for the entire year of 2025. So that is really saying something. Below normal for the high, above normal for the low temperature. Record low of 40, which would feel very nice right about now. Hasn't been broken or set since 1989. So doing very well on the rainfall. That's something we haven't seen across the area in quite some time. For much of the region, so not doing too bad out there. Air quality from earlier tonight was at the green or good level. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, tree pollen moderate, grass pollen moderate, and mold at lower levels. More information from their website, ChattanoogaAllergyClinic.com, if you'd like to check that information out there. Out and about on the waters, camping, hiking tomorrow. Don't forget, again, you've got the potential for more lightning and thunderstorms yet again, so be prepared for that. If we get enough sunshine, this will be a much higher number, so be prepared to use the sunblock in case you don't have that. You might want to pick some up because you just might need it. So something to think about there. And likewise, if you're going to be out and about trying to get in a round of golf, please remember that if you see lightning or hear thunder, it's time to wrap it up and get back indoors. When thunder roars, go indoors. It's very simple, so please make certain you've got all that ready to go. And again, winds a little bit breezy out of the south. That'll bring in even more moisture, and that means a very mild day tomorrow, but also very muggy. So expecting a lot more in the way of humidity, and that could be a bit of a problem, again, as we go into the course of the next couple of days. Like I said earlier, we are 19 days from the start of hurricane season in the Atlantic. We are 3 days away from hurricane season in the East Pacific. So hurricane season will be starting here in just about 72 hours. But so far, there's no sign of anything developing, so definitely some good news on that. We'll continue again to keep you updated on this potential, but for right now, both coasts, the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean and the Atlantic, are clear. We're about to get into what is going to be another busy season. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the next several days, so stay tuned for more, again, with News 12 on that. Think that should do it for tonight. We've been on for about 25 minutes. That's actually not bad for us. We usually try to go about 20 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there. No check-ins on anything in the way of social media, but thanks to everybody who's been subscribing. Nice to see everybody on board for that, so really great to see people keeping up to date with what is going on. Again, if you'd like to see more about what's happening with our forecast, all you have to do is go to our website, wdef.com/weather. We'll be reposting this so you can see this at any point in time. You also can watch the weather overtime through our weather app. So if you don't have that just yet, please go ahead and get that taken care of, because that would be a neat way to go ahead and keep up to date with what is going on out there. And again, good way to to watch weather on the go while you're out and about. Find me on all these social media networks. And if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, anything like that, bottom of the screen, email address aonek@wdef.com. Drop me a line if there's something you'd like to share, if there's something you'd like to see on Weather Overtime. We'd love to know about it. If there's anything else that we can do, we can't operate a TV station like this without input and information from you, the viewers. So please give us a note. Let us see what's going on. Again, go to our website, wdef.com, and you can go to the Contact Us section so you can email anybody here at News 12 if you have a story idea, if you have an event coming up that might be worth some coverage. That's great. Please give us as much time as possible between the event and you're sending it in. So the earlier you send an event in, the more likely it is as the date approaches that we'll be able to cover it. We don't have an infinite amount of photographers here to cover events, so you have to help us out. You have to come halfway and let us know as far in advance as possible. That will help us put it on the calendar and be able to cover it when the time comes. Calling us up on the day of the event, no guarantee we're going to be able to give you an idea as to any coverage on that. So if you got something going on, great, let us know. But just let us know as far in advance as you possibly can. That's the way the TV news business works. So again, something to think about on there if you'd like to drop us a line for whatever purpose. All right, I think that should do it for tonight. Chip Chapman will have your forecast early on Tuesday morning. I'll be back tomorrow night with more information. We've got 2 schools coming up this week, so we'll have some weather in the classroom for you Thursday and Friday. First one will be down in Resaca, Georgia. The second one in Chattanooga coming up on Friday. We'll talk more about that later on this week. So definitely want to stay tuned. It's going to be a busy week here as we go through the mid-month of May. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime on Monday. We'll have more details on your forecast coming up later on online and on air. Again, Chip Chapman, Tuesday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern. Join him for News 12 this morning for an update on all the day's news, weather, and sports. Thanks for joining us for Monday evening.